It's me, the Rhino, Survival Skills 101. You know, I'm a libertarian, and libertarianism is hell-bent on taking over the world and leaving you the hell alone. Won't you join us? Anyway, I'm going to answer a question today I get a lot. Can the federal government take your food storage when there's martial law? Let's find out. All right, I'm going to ask the question one more time. Can the federal government take your food storage during a time of martial law? Well, I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I've been looking, and I want to say no and yes. All right, the reason I say no is because I'm looking at all of the things, presidential directives, all of those things. And, I'm looking and I don't see it expressly say that they could take your food storage during martial law. That it's not like expressly said. However, having said all that, I kind of think that they can, and I kind of think they will. Here's why. When I'm looking through presidential directives and all of those things, the things that Obama signed, presidential orders, and what they are they're basically telling his secretaries the things that they can do in the federal government during a crisis, a time of crisis. And what I see is that the federal government can take transportation, they can take airports, they can take any kind of energy they need, whether that's gas, oil, or whatever, refineries. They can take farm machinery, they can take fertilizer, they can take cattle. So what's to stop them from taking your personal food storage? Now, I don't think necessarily that the federal government wants to take your personal food storage. They're coming to get it. That was their aim. But they might take it if they're sweeping through and they need food for some reason. All right? And it's not too big of a stretch to have some kind of colonel in the National Guard or something like that go see that you have some food storage and see that maybe the people that you're hanging around, the group that you're hanging around, and hopefully you're hanging around a group, has a significant amount of food storage. And in a time of crisis when other people need stuff, he just might go ahead and make the order that, hey, we want your food storage. All right? And basically martial law is when the military takes over. So he is in charge. So he'll take your food storage and let you sue him later. And what does the government care? So you sue him later, they can give you $1 million later or $100,000 later or whatever after you sue them, and they'll pay up later after the emergency's over with. Well, that's little good that you can do for yourself. To top that off, you can have a local sheriff in a smaller town, and the people in the town, whatever the crisis is, there are people who haven't prepared. So there are people that are starving. If you and your group has a significant amount of food storage, the sheriff might just be the one to say, hey, we're taking your food storage to give to these other people. It's not a stretch. I mean, it really could happen. And then what do? You're going to have to fight back, or are you going to keep your stuff? Well, is it against the law? Probably yes, and you could probably win in court. But little good it does you right then and there when the chips are falling the way they are. Now, to top that all off, if some colonel in the military or your sheriff isn't bad enough, you got to watch out for people in your own neighborhood. I mean, you could get a bunch of people in your neighborhood or your subdivision, and they all band together to keep everybody safe. And what happens in a neighborhood? There are people that didn't prepare. They're going hungry. So people will start making a suggestion that, hey, why don't you give some of your food storage to help out these other people? So now you're giving out the good food that you're the one that collected and you did due diligence to get all this, and now you're having to give it to other people. And in the event they're hungry, they might just come and take it. So you got to watch out for people in your own neighborhood. Now you also have to watch out for your personal friends and relatives. Your Uncle Harry doesn't have anything. He'll come looking for food. Then he'll come back for some more, and he'll come back for some more. While that's cool and you probably plan for that, don't let that be a surprise when your friends or your next door neighbor want some of your food too. So let me just say this. Keeping your food storage a secret is of primary importance. We don't need to be telling anybody about our extensive food storage that we have. Whether it's now or whether it's during a disaster, you keep quiet, because the minute that people find out that you have food storage, they are going to want a piece of it. Just think about the lady with 3 kids and she's hungry and her kids are hungry. She'll do just about anything to get your food. Some guy will come over and shoot you for your food. So keeping it quiet and not letting your hand get tipped that you have food storage is of huge importance. The minute that you start telling your friends, even your relatives, the guy next door, people in your neighborhood, that you have extra food, that's when they're going to want some, all right? Because they're going to be hungry, and imagine yourself hungry. So I would suggest that the minute a disaster happens, you take stuff from your house and put it somewhere where they can't be found. You know, down in the crawl spaces of your house, up in the attic, wherever, where people, if they come into your house, they can't see that you have food. I can't stress this enough. If you act like you don't have food and then you're keeping it for yourself, you'll be able to keep it for yourself. And you can share it with who you want to. And the sheriff or a colonel or whoever isn't going to find out that you have it. I also want to encourage you to tell your children to be quiet as well. Because that's how people are going to find out, is your kids are telling their playmates that, hey, I ate today, I had food, and then they're going to tell their parents, all right? Or the kids will go, can I have some food too? Because they're hungry. So your kids have to be quiet as well. I would highly urge you to burn your trash and not leave it outside or just put it in a big heap out in front of your house or even in your backyard, because people come along and start searching the trash when they need food and they see that you have all of this seems like all this extra food on a continual basis, and then know that something's up. So burning your trash, getting rid of it somewhere, taking it somewhere and burying it is of vital importance, because that's how the government will find out. It'll be in your trash and people will tell. Also, another reason why not to tell people is because if they start offering rewards so that neighbors will tell on other neighbors about food storage, that's how the government's going to find out as well. And I would also finally like to urge you to stand in FEMA lines even if you don't need it. All right? Because when you stand in a FEMA line and act like you need the food, people will not suspect that you have extra food. All right? So be one of the people that is standing in the FEMA lines all the time so that you don't raise suspicion. Have your family do it. Somebody, so that you act like you need the food too. Because if you act like, oh, I don't need the FEMA lines, it's no big deal to me, then they'll know you have extra food. When you keep all the food to yourself, then you can give it to the people you want and not get it stolen, not get it taken. I would like to leave you on this note. I would also have a little food in an obvious place somewhere. That way, if someone does break into your house, they'll go and take that food right there and not go searching your entire house thinking you've hidden your food somewhere. If it's in an obvious place, and it doesn't have to be good food, it could be stuff that's expired, but it's kind of like a stash to steal, if you will. So if someone comes in the house, they see that, they'll take it, get on out, and it's kind of like food that you give away. So like if you get your wallet stolen or something like that, you have robbery cash. Well, this is your robbery stash of food. All right, so remember, libertarianism, maximum freedom with maximum responsibility. Won't you join our crusade to get the government to leave us alone? Anyway, if you like this channel, please like it, please share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Hey, if you don't know who I am, I'm the Rhino for Survival Skills 101. Are you prepared to look forward?